Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday, October 8th, 2025, single stock edition of Trading Trends. Another day ends in Y, new all-time highs for SPY, gold, QQQ, utilities, industrial. A couple of days this week has had very similar vibes. Today we'll look at some crazy stocks, some moving like small companies, but they're actually very big companies. I'm looking at you, AMD. We will take a look today. Today, big rallies in Coeur mining, CDE, a big 12% jump there. We'll look at that name. I still think there's a big trade to be made in the gold miner juniors and the silver miners. The market is telling you that. You could pick individuals or you could do the ETFs. I love the ETFs. GDXJ is one of my favorite trades. Yes, you're paying a big premium over a rising 200 moving average, but it's been working since the end of 2024 and even then some, to be honest. We'll take a look at Dell, a big 9% pop. I want to take a look at some of the news that propelled these big moves, because the market overall is actually a low volume day. As SPY, QQQ went to new all-time highs. XLK, the semis did run. And an NNE, a big 17% drop. This one has been on the move to the upside, though, massively. So we'll take a look at that. And then this week, big 40% moves upside. In ASTS, a big move this week. We'll take a look at that chart to new all-time highs. Rigetti this week, also today, a big move for it. 40% for the past 5 days. So these guys are averaging 8% a day. And AMD, not a small company, not pre-revenue, like those quantum names. AMD, a massive move today, and this week 40% actually to the tune of. So let us take a look first. Yeah, AMD right there in the background. We'll take a look at individual movers. Un momento, por favor. I hope everyone is doing well out there. There's markets everywhere. Hold on, let me trace to the dashboard panel here and take a look at some of the markets as I load up the screen. As I load up my screens. Okay. All right, so a big move, 11% out of AMD here. I'm just going to before we move on, I just want to see the final volume on that. I want to check it out here. 153 million. That is more than 2x. It just continuing to rally after the OpenAI deal. NVIDIA's Jensen Wang surprised AMD offered 10% of company to OpenAI in a clever deal. Clever indeed. You're going to see more of it, but a big 11% move today. We will take a look at that chart. Big move today for that. Tesla up 1% after having a reversal yesterday. NVIDIA adds 2%. Stock looks incredible. This is not the ETF show, but GLD, a big surge continues today, up 1.7%. Amazon adds 1.5%. Small caps add 1. Oracle up 1.5%. Broadcom up 2.5%. They loved all the semis today. Micron up another 6%. The stock honestly looks perfect. And Taiwan Semi up 3.5%. That stock also looking pretty perfect. So as I zoom out here, in terms of the this is SPY intraday chart. Here is the open, and they bought it right from the get-go. We opened at 670, and the lowest price after that was essentially 672. View up on the day was 672, that number I just mentioned, and we actually closed on the highs. I'm rounding 674 here. In SPY, it's actually 673.59. They're almost upset, as it were, that the bell rang. If I zoom out and you look at the 1 year, and there's a candle, not massive, but a nice, up 2/3% day. There we are, pretty much near the top of that channel. As I zoom out here, so still nothing changed in terms of my forecast. I'm looking at the whole, kind of 15-day cycle. I'm still looking for an end to this around October 14th at around that 675 level. So still kind of some zigs and zags. You kind of saw it yesterday. We went to 672, and then yesterday went to 668. Some zigs and zags before we go, straight higher. Trees don't grow to the sky. So still some zigs and zags. I see still see bullish euphoria taking over for about another, I would say 6-ish days or so, with a ceiling of about 675. So that would take you to about early next week. And then after that, pullbacks will likely take you to that 662, 663 level, which is about inside of 2%. And I'm pretty sure they're going to buy it. And if things get heinous, an ugly sell-off, that's going to take you to about 650. And there will be a line to buy that as well. A divergence does stand out to me. You are overbought at barely a 70 reading, literally a 70.0. But that tells me it's a nice candle. There's some offsetting effects here in terms of a nice looking candle here closing at the highs, but I get a divergence here as I zoom out. Lets me know that more times than not, I do get a drop to that 21-day exponential, which is 663, or about $10 away. So 1.5%. It's not significant to give back at all. We were there last week, to be frank. And like I said, buyers will be there. And again, this market absolutely on fire, above 47 RSI since April 25th. That is 2 weeks coming off of the lows. So this market has absolutely sprung right back and really got its legs underneath and built up some slope on the incline starting in mid-May. And then, of course, with that breakout above 610, off into the races. So enough of the macro. Like I said, another week or so of bullishness like this, and then a little bit of they'll take their foot off the gas, I believe, just a tad. But yeah, still things look good for that 695 area, I believe, right around there for year-end in SPY. Let's go to some stocks now. Confluent, a big move higher here, up 7.5%. This is a software stock. Very interesting. I know some traders looking for specific exact setups like this. To be frank, highs prior in the year, and then a long swoon here with bottoms typically some point this summer, and now something trading essentially close to 3-month highs because every squirrel gets a nut type thesis and logic. And I get it, and I like it. It's not absolutely down on the ropes, but it has a lot of upside to prior valuations, and you have a lot of companies across industries being valued at all-time high. So I like it overall. But let me look specifically at this chart. If you guys don't know, Confluent is a data streaming software name, $7 billion market cap. This has had a very decent run. Again, if you believe in that 15-day cycle. Of course, today was a big 7.5% day, which is why we're looking at it. Multiple standard deviation move for Confluent. Let me see what was the news on this. I still like looking up the news on my phone. I don't know why. I just think it's easy. I guess that's props to you, Apple. Instead of the tabs and everything, I have a whole setup here. That's why. Those data streaming software maker Confluent explores a sale. So there you go. It's getting takeover interest. So there you go. And where do they take it to on that takeover interest? There's no buyout deal or anything like that. Where do they take it to? The 200-day moving average, a prior sentiment agreement in the market of the past 10 months of what a stock is worth. That number was 24.16. The high today was 24.86. The low was 21.99. That's an amazing range if you had to min-max something in your guess in terms of valuations. That makes a ton of sense, and you still have quite a bit of an earnings gap to fill going back to that earnings announcement July 30th. Highest RSI it's technically been since that big volume drop. They lost 33% of the value of that company July 31st. Absolute bloodbath. I think this has, maybe another week similar to the market, another week or so of bullishness, but a ceiling no higher than this. So congrats if you were in it. A lot of coiled energy in a spring here. If you're waiting for, like I said, setup for traders are looking for. If you look for a close above 20, and you would have caught that move today. But yeah, there's a lot of things. It's interesting. There's lots of strong things in the market. So you want to be with obviously the leaders. What got you here? As the GOAT, Paul Tudor Jones said the other day. The horse in the strongest position right now is most likely going to finish the year highest. And I don't disagree, as I rarely kind of do with Tudor, Paul Tudor Jones. Love him. So that's Confluent. There's a lot, but basically what my point is, there's a lot of strength to be there, to be had. You want to be a risk manager. There's setups like these in the market that abound. Let's look at more charts, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So this is a new 52-week high in this Coeur mining, up 11.5% today, a big move. This thing has been absolutely on fire since August 7th, actually since they announced that earnings. That's that's what you want. That's textbook. A lot of reasons why this happened. Of course, hindsight is 2020. If you're looking for miners, here you go. You get a nice clean breakout above $10 on that earnings announcement as you enter overbought registrations. And that's really all you need. Right there, you caught a double from August 8th through today, October 8th. That is 2 months, last I checked, and a double in stock, let alone what you would have captured in the options if you just would have rolled call spreads, is typically what my fashion is. These guys are a gold and silver producer, so perfect. It's a $12 billion valuation now. It was $6 billion back then, right? So absolutely looks great. Dude, they were absolutely upset. This closed on the absolute highs here. This is nosebleed territory right here. I would maybe look for another name, but the strength is with this one if you just want to chase. upper Bollinger Band. It doesn't even really close more than once above the upper Bollinger Band, and it did it here. So I would look over time, over the next 7 to about 1 to 2 weeks. I think you are going to have a drop to about $18. But an absolute monster move today in CDE. See something here. That's a stellar chart right there. Yeah, so I would participate. I'd more likely participate at a drop to 18, but a massive move today. That's a 52-week high. And here's the crazy thing: why some of these trades are attractive. I like the GDXJ. This is not the all-time highs for CDE. This isn't even 15-year highs if you want to get cute. But that goes back to $37 back then. So there's upside for these companies if you truly believe in it. Look at the RSI. Higher than it was back then. So the fervor is higher for this firm specifically than it's ever been. Look at the stochastic momentum mix. It has never had mojo, if you will, like it's ever had like this before. Even at those prior levels, you can see where the RSI peaked out at 70. So very interesting times for the miners. They're hot. There's a debasement trade going on. And I think it's good to have some. Next one, Dell, a big move. This one was on, we were talking about it on Spaces the other day. This is DELL. They whoops, let me zoom out. That's a 1 year. There we go. So again, the all-time highs are in May of 2024 at 180. So we're very within it here, within 10%. A huge move here, up 9% for Dell. Obviously, XLK tech hitting all-time highs. QQQ. Dell is a massive part of that. 100 billion. It's interesting. They have a $102 billion market valuation, and they have $101 billion in market cap for a 14 PE. And a 1% dividend. They don't probably get enough love. I personally wouldn't chase it here. I think it comes, I don't think it comes in. They close it pretty much at the tippy top. And 75 RSI is as healthy, as high as it's had all year, with the 200-day moving average now curling higher. I would probably sit out and wait to participate somewhere closer to 137 or 140 region. But this is, I'll tell you, if something sets up, it's probably going to come from the downside in terms of upside in a market like this, if you know what I mean. But Dell, where they say soaring AI demand and why it's still early in the AI revolution. AI server sales optimism and analyst event drives our fair value estimate to 149 in the stock. Okay. Now let's look at, if you have a ticker or something, put it in the chat and I will take a look. Obviously prefer it to be single stock since that's what we're doing, but I'll do ETFs as well. All right. Nano Nuclear Technology, the worst stock today in the market. Of course, this is coming off of all-time highs. This company started trading in May 2024 and all-time high yesterday. You see that clean rejection at 60.5. And it was overbought. You got an RSI of 77, but it sends it quickly down today, down 17% off those all-time highs. Still a beautiful rising 200-day moving average. This is the electrical equipment and nuclear energy name. They do solid core battery reactors and low-pressure salt coolant reactors. Duh. It's a $2 billion valuation. They make absolutely no money. So I'm looking interested in the news for these things here. $400 million oversubscribed private placement. So they're basically essentially diluting the stock. There's going to be more coming out, and that makes your shares just a little less valuable, and that sends it lower. The chart looks absolutely great. You want to be in names like this too. It doesn't have to all be catch-up trades, although I think you should allocate some to that. But I'm more sort of a trend follower here, and this chart looks stupendous. I would, maybe this continues to go further. I would love to participate at 42. So it's still a bit high. Consider that the range today was 54 to 47. They sold it essentially on the lows inside of 2%. It was down a 20% at one time. I think you get a chance at a 42 handle. And then I think you want to participate in a strong name as it slowly, maybe not even slowly, recovers back towards 50. But Nano Nuclear, the worst place to be, worst stock today. Next worst stock today was Joby Aviation. I usually don't look at stocks under $20, but this one I made an exception because there's absolutely massive volume in the past week. These guys were down 8%, 8.1% today. There's the chart of Joby. Peaked back in August here, right there at 20.95. Came very close to topping it yesterday, and a quick fall here. Joby is the vertical integrated. They're going to do the flying taxis in Dubai, I suppose. So they're a $16 billion company right now. They make no money as well. So absolutely amazing. These are the guys that are getting a lot of the valuation bump right here. They've been soaring for a while. I personally wouldn't chase it here. Similar to what I just said about NNE, if you get an opportunity to participate at, we are getting close. If you can get in at, we're getting pretty close. I would say about 16.10. I would still let it bleed a little. And then I want to get you, I'd rather be in around 16 to 16 quarter, right around that level, which is a touch above. It's a touch under the 20-day moving average and above the 50. And I think that's not too bad to be in a name like this. And their next earnings are still in early November. So that earnings risk out of the way for now. And I think this will resume its winning ways. Ugly period here. I think that part will be through with a floor of, like I said, 16 even. Then you get your chance to participate in a flying taxi name. Nasty day, though, down 8% today. And since we're doing this like we're the news show, let me see why what sent Joby down today. Sometimes these just have to go lower. Same thing, pricing of $500 million of discounted offering. So diluting exactly like Nano Nuclear was. So that went that larger, down 17%. And this one down 8%. Next, a lot of financials, specifically regionals, looked ugly today. They've been looking ugly, honestly. A lot of them were down today. I picked RF because of heavy volume, and it fulfilled my parameters. Down 1.7% is regions. Big volume on this. The space has not looked good. Let me see if anything specific to regions came up today. I don't think it was. No, nothing specific. Just weakness overall in the space. So there's better names than this. Look at this RSI. It's not quite oversold, but it's at a 32, looking going lower. They closed it near the lows. You got support down there at 24.5, and then again at 23.5. I think it will base. I'm not sure if it's done bleeding yet. I don't think so. I think it wants to bleed a little bit more to about 24.5. And I think it'll happen the next 1 to 2 weeks, and then rallies will take you to about 26.5. So there's a trade there. I think there's better to be done. There's just no momentum in it. The 200 days just finding. This one's a tough picture. Again, 50-week high last Thanksgiving at 28, and here at 25, below at 18. Yeah, I mean, you definitely have support at 23, and your ceiling's right there at 28. I think it's going to base here right around 25, right around 24.5. And that's probably not a bad entry, and you're probably headed to 26.5 by early November. But regions, a nasty day. Down 2%. They didn't dilute their company like Nano and Joby did, though. All right, top 3 gainers of the past 5 days. These all have amazing momentum. They're all up 42 to 44% in the past 5 days, and they all hit new all-time highs today. So if you're a lazy trader, you just want to chase stuff that is working, I'm not saying it's going to pay off tomorrow, but this could hypothetically work. The first one, best past 5 days for any stock in the market with those parameters over $20 and at least 10 million shares traded. ASTS up basically 8.5% today to new all-time highs. A clean rejection. I do want to note it traded as high as $91, and that was absolutely rejected, and they closed at 81, which still was below VWAP on the day. So, but RSI was 83. So mixed messages in a little bit, but overall, obviously very strong. This has not had a red day since September 29th, and that's absolutely just insane when the stock was trading $50 even. So this has been one way. The candles, so you want to see the candles get a little bit smaller as they did, but then you don't want to see the huge tall wick like that. Very curious to see what happens tomorrow. I personally wouldn't chase it. You kind of got what you – I want to see what happens tomorrow, but the charts tell me that you may have an entry to get in this at around it probably will take closer to about 2 weeks because these names are very in vogue here. As I said, all-time high for this name. Yes, by the way, yeah, there was news on this one. They got a big deal with Verizon, and it's validated the boom in satellite stocks. So it was a big, big move Big deal with Verizon today. Trying to find the amount of the deal, but it was a big deal for a company that makes. Do they make any money? $5 million last year, so pretty much no. And they're getting, in this economy, they got a big deal for satellite deal. So there you go. 83 RSI, people like it. I still think this has a very decent chance of a pullback to $58 to $65. I know it's a big range. It's a volatile stock. Over the next 2-3 weeks, it's going to test you, and that's where you participate. I've recommended this name in the past when it looked like crapola, probably back here. Well, no, that was June. I don't think I was touting it here. Probably like somewhere like over here, I think. Actually, I have my notes. We can do this later. Actually, you know what? I'm petty. September 12th, get in 38. Let me see where we are. September 12th. Yep, VWAP that day was $39. It was actually the fourth day that it traded under $40. And there you go. So 2x. Crazy volatile things like this, you really don't need the options. You can buy the stock or you can do the options and just allocate it appropriately. But new all-time highs for that. Let's move on because I got new all-time highs to get to. I told you where I want to participate in AST. Probably take you 2-3 weeks. And then if you get down around $58, that's a great level. Rigetti Computing, new all-time highs today. This thing's been standing room only to bid it since September 16th by way of above 70 RSI. All green days except 3. I'm sorry, today was the 4th one. I'm talking about a record since September 16th for it. Today was down 1.5%. It was an all-time high. They clean rejection off 48 quarter. They sent it lower, pretty much to Kembate it and sent it lower on the day. It did touch 48 and then went straight lower, essentially. For this, I recommended this too, obviously, on the program. Similar forecast for AST. Give it a little bit of time. I'd rather participate in this right at 30 to 31.5. So that's quite a bit of ways from here. So let it cool off. That is Rigetti, new all-time highs today. And then this one, this is not a company that doesn't make any money. That's a $5 billion valuation. This is AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, and boy, are they advanced indeed. Up 11% again today on that just continuation of the OpenAI news. This is a $340 billion company that's moving 11% like this. Look at these candles for a company that I just said that size. Overbought. It hasn't been this hot since June when it was having that advance into that August earnings, and now you're getting 200 moving average finally just starting to curl up. This is new all-time highs for AMD. If I'm going on a max chart, I mean, we're going back to the 2021 days. It was a 160 stock. We've obviously eclipsed that here. In terms of AMD, I would not chase this here. I know it's a big deal. OpenAI, 10% of this company was an interesting deal, as the CEO says. But I would just let this cool off as well. I'm not in that kind of just chase it up market right here. I'll tell you if something sets up on names, as I said. But this looks like I don't want to participate here until, and I still think it's chasing around 177. I want to say 170. Might say 177. Give it time. The RSI is soaring. If you're in it, it's probably going higher before it goes lower. That range today, by the way, was high as 238. They closed at 238. So, I mean, they want this thing to open tomorrow and probably said it's 245. You probably go to 260 or something crazy in the next several days, weeks. But this thing is flying high right now. AMD, the third best week. So ASTS of 44%, Rigetti at 43, and AMD at 42. Those type of returns are typically reserved for ASTS and Rigetti. AMD, a $340 billion company, is participating in that monster moves. Let's see if we got some setups on the down moves here. So those were the best week, past 5 days for those stocks. Let's look at the worst week, and let's see if we got some superstars that are just having a crapola week. So Rocket is the worst stock for the past 5 days. Ticker RKT there in financial services. Name a $2.5 billion name, well, $5 billion revenue, so a bit of almost a value trap there. Financials have not had a good go of it. This chart does not look super well. Wow, all-time highs back from 2021. So those crazy COVID days. This was a $43 name. I remember trading. It was like a meme stock then. But the 52-week high was in September at 22.5. And a quick fall to 16. Still a nice rise in 200 moving average. It just barely got oversold, and they said, no, let's step in. Very interesting doji today, down basically flat today, down 37 bips. Tough one. I think it is going to base this week with a 16 handle. I do think the short-term low is in. And I do think this has a dead cat. I don't want to say dead cat bounce, but I do say it has a slow, frustrating dead cat bounce-ish feel to it to the what level? To about 18.5, which is a monster move. I mean, not monster move, but 16 to 18 is, a little bit more than 10%. So you can look at options. I would just be careful again. If things are chasing or not being chased in the market, I'd be careful of when exactly you think they're going to rotate into financials. Other thing too, though, it may have a sympathy bid. JP Morgan kicks off financial earnings. I believe it is. I'll just tell you, I don't have to believe. In 6 days, JP Morgan. So that's interesting. I was saying just based on cycles, I see the market bullishness going into. We'll see. It's JP Morgan, the setup specifically, I like it. I think it's headed to 320. It's at 304 right now. It's been doing nothing for a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's interesting. All right, so that is a Rocket call. We already talked about that. So next, Rocket, the worst week, down 17% for the past 5 days. And it's been kind of steady. It lost 6% here, and then down 3, and then down to 5, and then down 3.9. So they're just not been feeling the stock here for Rocket. Let me see specifically today. The volume was average today. Nothing even really happening. So just really just getting hurt. Friendly fire. Okay, next one, GME, the second worst stock. Oh, also another meme stock from back in the COVID days. So they're selling, I'm sure it's coincidence. They are selling Rocket and they are selling GameStop. GameStop, a nasty week, down 11%, an average of 2% a day, trying to buck that today. Here's GameStop. It peaked the day of this, whatever happened. Oh, this is when I think they were getting involved in crypto. End of May, down 11%. Is when they had that $36 essentially. And now flat 200 moving average of $25.79. And today, like I said, trying to buck the trend, be up a quarter. But GameStop, the second worst company to be in this week. I'm sorry, Roaring Kitty. Still an $11 valuation. I think this still probably has another tops a week left of not so great trading with a 23 floor. I see a lot of weakness in different parts of retail. And I don't think this is, they're going to be super friendly to GameStop. And so, yeah, like I said, I think that probably heads to about 23 floor. Then it is probably, if you want to place a tactical trade, it probably does go to 25 and get a 10% bid. I really want to have a flight to quality in a market like this, but a lot of things are flying. So if you want to allocate to a certain kind of risk bid, like a GameStop versus AMD's risky too in different ways. But every squirrel gets a nut. That's GameStop though. 200 moving average. What used to be support looks like it may be resistance. I think this next rally, that after all, like I said, it goes to 23. I think the best it'll do will be a move to about 25.5, which is the 200 moving average. Next weakest week belongs to Western Digital. I really had to zoom in for these. I barely had to include this. Western Digital down 7%. That's the third worst stock. I'm talking about, like I said, real parameters, not penny stocks. Western Digital, I mean, the third worst stock, down 7%. This thing's been really insanely bid since May 13th, and I'm doing that by it's above 70 RSI, and it traded at $49 that day. So, and then it went to 138 last week, and now we're just having a slow digestion of those monster gains. I mean, Western Digital is a tech hardware name. Again, we were talking about Dell earlier. They do hard disk drives, and they are a $42 billion market cap on $10 billion revenue. Give this about, I would love to see this. This is a superstar name. Obviously, it's getting a little bit of air. If this thing gets to 57 RSI, folks are going to ask questions and look at 3-month lows. That's how crazy it is. So, wow, just this thing's a stallion. I think it may hopefully be in the penalty box for maybe about another week or so. And if you can get an entry about 113, 110 would be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen. 113, which is about $8 away. I think that is an absolutely amazing, exclusive, great invitation to ride this one as it heads back towards about 125 to 130. So that's what I would do. I would play calls for that. Probably maybe even like a December or January call spread. You could do a vertical, or you can just buy the straight 60 delta calls. You can buy the 123 calls for December. So I was telling you, if something sets up, I'll tell you this one, possibly give it about another 5-ish days or so. I'll give it to early next week. And I think you have a chance at 113 on this, and I would participate. So this one, finally something actionable. Top 3 trades of the past 5 days. If you've been long ASTS, Rigetti, and AMD, congratulations. Shut it down. Make yourself a pina colada. You're absolutely killing the stock market from any which way. Long, short, you're absolutely crushing it. Now, my favorite part of the show, top 3 trades of the past 52 weeks. I have gone back and forth, including the quantum computing names. I want to include just a couple. I didn't want to make it just all RGTI and QBTS and all that, so on and so forth. A lot of those weren't even trading up until December. So I'm switching up just a little bit today, not a ton. Rigetti is number 1. I can't ignore this behemoth. Up 5,400% is Rigetti year over year. So it's absolutely a monster. If you can't grasp those numbers, that's absolutely okay. That means that last October, this was trading 80 cents, and today it's $43, and that's essentially how you make money. Today, a rejection, though, like I said, at $48. They sent it all the way lower to 43. If you have a chance, as I said, it's going to be a patience game. It's thinking new all-time high today. The market cap valuation on that is $14 billion, and they make $8 million in revenue. Obviously, it's going to go higher, hence the valuation that they're giving it. But great flows in this, honestly, since mid-July. I love the closing action on it, taking money flow. I would participate on this, going forward at about 30 to 31.5. And I know it seems crazy here, but you essentially needed to get back to that territory. It'll happen one day, I think, and that'll be a great stuff. But Rigetti is your best stock year over year, a 54%. Congratulations if you were sniffing this one out last October. And I mean, other things. Yeah, I mean, it got above, it's crazy to say, buy the breakout above $3 last Thanksgiving. But if you did, God bless you. And then the drawdown took you from $21 all the way to $7. And that's you down 2/3 of your money. And then 7 to 43. So in this market, you get, and in life, you most times get rewarded to hold on to risk. And we're getting no different, up 5,400%. Number 2, I'm going to skip, like I said, I'm not going to do D-Wave and QBTS and go through every exact similar, niche name. But I will pay attention to massive ones that have massive volume and have been trading for a longer. Number 2 is OK Low. Not as much returns, just a paltry 1,200 compared to Rigetti, 5,400. And to put numbers to that, so last October, this was a $10 stock, and today, $135. So pretty good. That's a pretty good return. OK Low, they do, the advanced fission power, nuclear waste into usable fuel for its reactors. This is a $20 billion company. They make no money. So I think this one sets up. We recommended this one. I was very proud. I think we called it out in like July. Wait, hold on. It was back. It was August. I have it right here. August 20th. We said get in at 65. Let me put it on the chart. August 20th. Yep, 65 right there. And we said it's getting ready to move. It might be frustrating, and I'll test you. Ultimately, you're going to have to get that breakout above 85. And it finally came in the mid-September, and then that was what you're waiting for if you're an OK Low holder. So more so recently here, as I said, see if you get, you might get a little bit of luck here. The entry is about 117. I think it's going to be in the next week to 2 weeks. So you need that $17, drawdown from here. That would be a much better entry. And like I said, the target is closer to 140. So that's OK Low, the second best stock year over year, up 1,233%. And the number 3, Ionc, up 667% is Ionc. Last year, or last October's price, it was $10. Today, $75. Ionc, obviously a great stock, 3 year over year. These guys are in quantum computers and networks. They sell access to quantum computers of various qubit capacities. They are $21 billion, but they did make $52 million last year. So they actually make money. Great looking chart. If you could, I think this one already ran just a little bit, but the entry for me that I would be looking at is right around $66. If you have the opportunity on some kind of market pullback, I would pound. So I give you those 3 levels to get into those names, they will reward you. That's not a today story or flavor of the week or even the month. That's from last October through today. Those returns, they're durable and they are very lasting and probably into 2026 and maybe even beyond. Breathe. All right. I will talk to y'all on Friday, I believe, with an ETF and a week wrap up. Peace.